Before I get into this video, I would like to shout out Amino. If you guys don't remember, I talked about their app before. It is the best place to discuss Steven Universe, fan art, Q&As, and chats. And speaking of chats, to celebrate 100,000 subscribers, which, thank you guys by the way, I'm very grateful. This weekend, on Sunday, October 30th, at around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be doing a live chat. We can talk about Steven Universe, share with me your theories, fan art, whatever you desire, and possibly help me out for a future video. So to do that, links to download Amino in the description, and to add me, my username is AwestruckVox. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So, a lot of people have been wondering, who will be the next fusion Steven Universe? Who will it be between? And due to recent news of Ashly Burch voicing a character in Steven Universe, a lot of people are thinking it's going to be a fusion between Peridot and Lapis. However, while it is a possibility, I'm not exactly sold on the idea of Peridot and Lapis fusing just yet. Now, Gem Harvest may not have a fusion at all, but it's a half-hour special, so it'd be weird if there wasn't any big revelation. Maybe Peridot and Lapis will get stars. Maybe one of them will get a star. And while granted, Smoky Quartz was only a few months ago, that's because those episodes aired day after day after day, and then week after week. Not to mention, Spooky was at the end of Season 3, but Gem Harvest is towards the middle of Season 4. Not to mention, the writers said they stopped caring about when a season begins and ends a while ago when writing episodes. They throw in surprises whenever they see fit. So really, anything goes now. And if the show is ending at Season 5, if they want to put out as many fusions as possible, then they are going to have to use them more frequently. Not saying that every few episodes should have a new fusion, but until we get a season renewal, I'm just going to assume that Season 5 is the end, and either we're going to see a lot of fusions we wish we've seen earlier in the finale, assuming that would be like an hour-long finale or even a movie, but regardless, the point I'm trying to establish here is it's not too soon from Smokey to have a new fusion, especially if the plot demands it. Now, Ashly Burch, while I have said that she does sound like a Peridot and Lapis fusion, honestly, it's mainly just the Peridot. Her voices do sound like Peridot's high-pitch range, but I guess that shouldn't be exclusive to just Peridot and Lapis. And while a 3/4 minute clip isn't too much to tell from, it doesn't look like Garnet, Amethyst, or Pearl will be in this episode, but that could easily change. I mean, they quickly showed up at the end of Barnmates. And another thing is, I don't think Lapis is ready for fusion. I mean, Jasper really messed her up.
I was terrible to you. I liked taking everything out on you. I needed to. I hated you.
Malachite was a very traumatic experience for both of them. Granted, it left Jasper wanting more. It turned Lapis off from water, I think that's a huge part of her. And while that may or may not have been Lapis's first fusion in general, that was her first fusion on the show, her first on-screen fusion. So not only did it leave a bad taste in Lapis's mouth, but for the viewer, when we think of Lapis fusing, we're gonna think of Malachite. And honestly, at this point in time, I don't see Lapis fusing with Peridot, or any other gem. I just feel like she's not as close with them yet as she should be. After all, she did rush into Malachite to save Steven and the others. Now, admittedly, if Steven was in danger, then yes, she would rush into a Peridot and Lapis fusion. Which could very well happen. I could see Steven being in serious trouble. Maybe even seconds away from being shattered, so Peridot and Lapis just go for it and fuse, doing some kick-ass action, and saving the day. And while we do know that Peridot and Lapis have been living together, I still feel like the amount of on-screen moments we've had with them doesn't set a foundation for them to fuse yet. Gem Harvest could very well change that. But then again, Super Watermelon Island's beginning of Season 3, and we're a whole season later. So I guess time could have healed the wounds that left Lapis when it comes to fusion. But I'm still not entirely convinced yet. But a fusion I can see happening without a doubt, Peridot and Steven. After all, Steven is directly responsible for Peridot's character arc. She wouldn't have changed without him. He helped her love herself without her limb enhancers, see the beauty in Earth, stand up for herself against Yellow Diamond of all people, and helped her discover her metal powers. I feel like that has a lot more going for them and their chances of fusing than Peridot and Lapis. I feel like there's just a much more deeper connection between them. While Peridot and Lapis are both from their homeworld, having to call Earth the new home, really only having each other to depend on, to relate to, Steven and Peridot are both small. Steven's underestimated for not being Rose Quartz, and Peridot is underestimated for being an Era 2 Peridot, not an Era 1. From calling Yellow Diamond to going through the freaking cluster with each other, Peridot and Steven's relationship is unmatched, which is why in a dire situation, I can see them fusing more than anyone.
Do you have any last words? I love you, Peridot. Wow, thanks.
And on the flip side to that is Lapis and Steven. If there's anyone I think Lapis should fuse with for the first time since fusing, it should be Steven. Steven's the one who freed her from the mirror, from thousands of years of imprisonment.
You actually talked to me. You helped me. You set me free.
He's the one who helped give her a new home, give her a new place to start over. While Peridot just had a logical sense of loyalty to her homeworld, Lapis was screwed over by her homeworld, and then was screwed over by the crystal gems. She justifiably had trust issues, and Steven helped her through that. Steven helped her stand up to Jasper, and we all know how powerful that scene was. So, going by that logic, Steven would be the perfect person to help her restore her trust in fusion. It's been said time and time again, fusion is the ultimate connection between gems, and it was ruined by Jasper for Lapis. Steven helped her restore her trust in everything else, so why not fusion?
Quit flying and I'll scar you mooks.
But there is a possibility that there'll be other crystal gems in the episodes outside of Peridot and Lapis. There's a warp pad right by the barn, as seen in Super Watermelon Island and Barmaids.
To the nearest warp pad.
To the nearest warp pad.
So it's not hard for the gems to travel. And we really don't know what's going down in Gem Harvest. At least not yet. So who says other gems couldn't get in on the action and lead to a brand new fusion? But I'm going to completely eliminate Lapis out of this for the rest of the video, because Steven and Peridot are probably the only two gems I can see her fusing with right now. She definitely does not trust any of the other gems enough to fuse with them. Peridot, on the other hand, does. However, out of Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, I can see Peridot fusing with Pearl the least. Granted, they did butt heads before, and put their differences aside, I still feel like their bond is probably the weakest one.
You're a pearl. You are beneath me. I'll always be better than you, and nothing I've seen today will ever change that.
However, Garnet and Peridot is a fusion I'm totally down for and I can expect. Why? Well, Garnet already offered to fuse with Peridot before.
Get ready.
That being said, the same thing happened with Steven and Amethyst. Alone together showed them practicing fusion. This was the first time Steven was show practicing fusion with a gem. And who ended up being Steven's first full gem fusion? Amethyst, which brought us the beloved Smoky Quartz. So, if that's any indication in the future, then they've already foreshadowed Garnet and Peridot fusing. At the bar, no less. Garnet, being a fusion expert, would be able to perfectly show Peridot the ropes of fusion. And Peridot knows this, so when she applies logic to it, I guess Garnet would be her best candidate to fuse with first. And could probably be her most comfortable. But then again, since Garnet is Ruby and Sapphire, Peridot might think, logically from a standpoint, a 3-gem fusion for a first fusion may not be the best idea. So that's kind of a coin toss. And there's also Amethyst and Peridot. After all, they do have the Shorty Squad. And Amethyst likes hanging out with Peridot. They're friends. And we've already seen them bond before in the show multiple times. Amethyst was a contribution to Peridot finding out she has mellow powers. And let's not forget the events of Too Far. They trust each other, so I can definitely see them having a helping hand. Plus, Amethyst has a whip. So like, I feel like whatever metal powers plus a whip has would be pretty badass. And that's the sad thing about Peridot and Lapis, since they don't actually have weapons but powers, at least right now in the show, it's hard to imagine what the powers of the fusion would be. Would the whip evolve? Who really knows at this point? But yeah, we're like about a month away from Gem Harvest. I'm hearing it's airing on Thanksgiving, but when I get official confirmation, I'll make a video on it. But these are my thoughts, and I want to hear yours, so please comment down below. Who do you think will fuse in Gem Harvest? And as for what will happen in Gem Harvest, I have a video coming up with that. And once again, please check out the Amino app, and don't forget my live chat, Sunday, October 30th at around 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. AwestruckVox, signing out.